Have you ever noticed how some people seem unshakable in their convictions, while others flip-flop with every new opinion they encounter? What separates those with deep inner peace from those caught in constant mental chaos? Today, we explore Seneca's profound teaching. Peace is in staying the course. This ancient wisdom holds the key to finding tranquility in our noisy, opinion-saturated world. We live in the age of information overload. Every day we're bombarded with conflicting advice, changing trends, and endless opinions about how we should live, what we should believe, and who we should become. Social media feeds us a constant stream of different perspectives. News sources contradict each other. Experts disagree on fundamental truths. Most people respond to this chaos by constantly wavering. They read one article and completely change their diet. They hear one podcast and pivot their entire career strategy. They encounter one criticism and question everything they've built. They live in a perpetual state of uncertainty, always second-guessing themselves, always wondering if they're on the right path. This constant wavering creates what Seneca identified as the opposite of tranquility, a restless anxiety that comes from having no firm ground to stand on. When you're always changing directions, you never actually arrive anywhere meaningful. Seneca, the great Roman philosopher and advisor to emperors, understood this human tendency perfectly. In his teachings on tranquility, he used the Greek word euthymia, which means believing in yourself and trusting that you are on the right path, rather than being constantly swayed by the countless opinions and directions others are going. He observed that the true tranquility can only be grasped by those who have reached what he called unwavering and firm power of judgment. These are people who have developed the ability to think clearly about what matters most, make decisions based on their deepest values, and then stick to their chosen path without being constantly derailed by external noise. But here's what's crucial to understand. This doesn't mean being closed-minded or refusing to learn new things. Seneca wasn't advocating for stubborn rigidity. Instead, he was pointing towards something much more sophisticated, the ability to have a clear sense of direction while remaining open to natural adjustments along the way. Think of it like navigation. When you're sailing toward a distant destination, you need a clear vision of where you're going. You don't change your destination every time you encounter a different wind or see another ship heading in a different direction. However, you do make constant small adjustments to your sails and rudder to account changing conditions. This is what Seneca meant by clarity of vision. It's not about being 100% certain of everything or believing that you should never change your mind. Rather, it's about having confidence that you're generally heading in the right direction, so you don't need to constantly compare yourself with others or change your fundamental course every time you encounter new information. When you have this clarity, you can rest assured that you're moving toward what matters most to you. You don't need to constantly second-guess yourself or seek validation from others about whether you're making the right choices. Seneca identified the root cause of our restlessness. We rely on the most uncertain guide, common opinion. Think about how exhausting it is to live this way. One day, you read that you should wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful. The next day, you hear that forcing early wake times is harmful to your natural rhythms. One week, everyone says you need to network constantly. The next week, You're told that authentic relationships can't be forced. When you base your decisions on whatever opinion is currently trending, you end up in what Seneca called a state of alternately rejecting and accepting things. You're constantly switching between different approaches, never giving any single path enough time or energy to show real results. This creates a vicious cycle. Because you're always changing directions, you never build the momentum needed to make genuine progress. And because you don't see progress, you assume you must be on the wrong path, which makes you even more likely to abandon your current course for the next appealing option. The alternative Seneca proposes is both simple and profound. Identify your path based on your deepest values and clearest thinking. Then stay committed to that course while making natural adjustments as needed. This doesn't mean you ignore new information or refuse to adapt. I share timeless insights like this every week. Follow for more ancient wisdom that actually works.